Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Gatorade is the #1 proven electrolyte blend designed to hydrate better than water. So you can lose more sweat and raise your game. Gatorade, is it in you?
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
This is the FPL Draft Zone, your fantasy team's best signing of the season.
The Premier League is almost here, but there's still time to find those hidden gems for your draft team. Today we look at those under-the-radar picks, potential breakout stars, and mid to late round draft gold. Hello and welcome to the FPL Draft Zone, a podcast all about draft FPL. I'm Dom Crofts. I hope you are well. And today we are taking a look at those players who may still be available in those mid to late rounds on draft night and who may well prove to be absolute fantasy gold. These are players who have high potential, they are players who are under the radar picks, and they are players who could well turn out to be season keepers if they live up to the hype. But before we get going, I'm going to ask you for a little favour. I would love it if you would subscribe to this pod so you never miss an episode, and it would also be fantastic if you could give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or some lovely old words on Spotify or whatever podcast platform you listen to us on. And of course, we are also on social media. If you want to speak to us there, you can find us on X and on Instagram, where our handle is at FPL Draft Zone. We are also on Blue Sky, where it is a slightly more wordy handle, at fpldraftzone.bsky.social. And of course, we're also now part of the cool kids at Reddit. But let's get going with some left field, under the radar, hidden gem gold. We're going to work our way through defenders, midfielders, and forwards in just a moment. But before we do any of that, we have one solitary goalkeeper who not many managers will be prioritising, but who could turn out to be outrageous value. And that goalkeeper is Liverpool's second choice stopper, Georgi Mamardashvili. He actually signed for the champions last year and was then sent back to his former club Valencia for the season. He is 6'6", that is tall. He's good on the ball and he is an outrageous shot stopper. Liverpool fans were raving about his performance against Athletic Bilbao on Monday night. And if you look up his best saves from last season, there are some unbelievable stops, including a double save against Getafe, which honestly is one of the best double saves I have ever seen. He is a full Georgian international. He joins as the long-term successor to Alisson. But of course, the question is, will he earn himself that number 1 jersey this season? And I think there is a pretty good chance that he will. And that is because Alisson has started to get a little bit injury prone. He has missed 20 Premier League games over the last 2 seasons, and since February 2024, he has had 3 separate hamstring injuries that have ruled him out for a combined total of 157 days. Now, 2 of those hamstring injuries were last season, so there does seem to be a bit of an issue there with his hamstring. So if you can get Mamardashvili in as your second keeper and stash him until, frankly, the inevitable happens, you may have got yourself a route into the champions backline, and he may well end up as a long-term option for you in goal as well. We're going to move on to defenders now, and there are a good number of defensive options who are likely to be available in the latter rounds of your draft night and even on the waivers before game week 1. Some are more punty than others. Some have been getting a fair bit of airtime in preseason already, but all of them should still be available in those late rounds, and as I say, quite possibly on the waivers as well. First up is a short-term pick, Jakub Kiwior of Arsenal, who finished last season as one of their 2 playing centre-backs as a result of Gabriel's injury. And Gabriel has still not featured for Arsenal at the time of recording in pre-season, and they've only got 2 more friendlies left to go, including one tonight against Villarreal. I am pretty sure they will not risk rushing Gabriel back, and with Calafiori also picking up a knock in pre-season, I imagine Kiwior is going to start Arsenal's first few games. Manchester United away from home in game week 1 is not a great start, but if you stick him on your bench for game week 1, then he is likely to start in game week 2 as well, and that is a home game against Leeds United at the Emirates. There are 2 left-backs who are going to tempt a lot of draft managers, but in 10-team leagues or lower may not get picked until very late on, and they are El Hadji Malik Diouf of West Ham and Adrian Trufer of Bournemouth. Diouf has been on the radar of loads of clubs for well over a year now, but it was West Ham who won the battle to sign him, and he's come to FPL managers' attention after he got an assist and a pre-assist in West Ham's win over Bournemouth at the weekend. He is incredibly attack-minded. He scored 7 goals last season playing in the Czech League, and that is a league, by the way, which has served West Ham well. They also got Thomas Souček and Vladimir Koufal from the Czech League. And Diouf also impressed in the Europa League last season, where he had 4.21 shot-creating actions per 90, and that put him inside the top 6% of fullbacks in that competition. And for those of you who don't know what counts as a shot-creating action, and frankly, why would you? It is basically an action that leads to a shot attempt. So it could be a pass, it could be a through ball, a cross, a set piece, a dribble, a ball recovery, any of those things. And he was one of the top defenders in the Europa League for that. He also got 7.83 ball recoveries per 90 in the Europa League, which would not be far off getting him those additional defensive contribution points as well. Some managers may be put off by the fact that he is playing for West Ham, and not many people expect West Ham to do that well. Some may be prioritising those centre-backs who really excelled in their defensive contribution numbers last season. But Diouf has the potential to have the best of both worlds. A super attacking defender with an end product, but also someone who doesn't shirk his day job either and gets stuck in. West Ham's opener is not that bad either, by the way. They have an away game to kick things off against Sunderland. Then we come to Adrian Trufer, who has a less than pleasant opener away at Anfield, but the fixtures do get better after that, although to be fair, they can't really get much worse. Trufer caught everyone's eye after he scored a couple of goals in a friendly against Bristol City a couple of weeks ago, but he's actually been a strong offensive threat for a while now. He played as a left winger as well as a left back for his previous club, Rouen, and statistically he looks like he's going to be a better defender than his predecessor, Milos Kerkez. He's a better dribbler statistically, he's better at chance creation as well, and his 2.3 attacking actions per 90 suggests that whatever Bournemouth do down that left-hand side, he is going to be integral to it. He also loves a cross and averaged 3.49 crosses per 90 last season. Now, the Liverpool game to kick things off is going to put a lot of managers off. I suspect he will slide well into the 10th round at the very least. But if you get him, he could turn out to be a season keeper. And after that Liverpool game, it is home games against Wolves and then Brighton in 2 of their next 3, which look a lot more appealing. A few other defensive options for you who I'm sure are going to fly under the radar, but who may turn out to be pretty astute signings if certain things fall into place. First up is Josh Achiampong, who is a young Chelsea defender who is being heavily linked with a move to Crystal Palace. He is a versatile defender. He can play as a right back or as a central defender, and he is extremely good on the ball. Enzo Maresca has spoken very highly of him. Achiampong has said he sees his future at Stamford Bridge, but I do think there is a very good chance he's going to end up making a loan move before transfer deadline day, as I just cannot see him getting much football this season with Chelsea. He is meant to be exceptional on the ball, and if he does go to Palace, he will be joining a team with an already pretty good defence and a team who I think are going to have a pretty strong season. So one to watch rather than one to invest in immediately. But if he does move, Achiampong would be an easy route into that Palace backline. There are 3 defenders from Manchester United who could be worth looking at if you think United are going to improve this season. And they've certainly strengthened their side to the extent where you would expect them to improve. They've gone big in attack with Mbumo and Cunha, and it looks like they're going to win the race for Benjamin Sesko as well. They haven't really changed their defence at all, but they did bring in a couple of players last season in Aidan Heaven and Patrick Dorgu. Dorgu is a big athletic wing-back and a dual winner who, before he joined United, was in the 83rd percentile for fullbacks across Europe's top 5 leagues for carries in the final third per 90. And he also scored well for progressive carries and carries into the penalty area. So you can expect him to be a threat going forward. He's had a chance to bed in at United now, having joined halfway through last season, and he did okay. He played 840 minutes and ended up with an XGI of 1.70. So that works out at approaching 2 attacking returns in the equivalent of just over 9 matches. I think he will be a regular this season with United, and they are surely going to be a much better team this season. And I don't think, because of the way they performed last season, many managers will be looking at their defensive assets right now. But maybe they should, because at Sporting Lisbon, Ruben Amorim built a really strong defence. And in their first title-winning season, they kept 20 clean sheets. So if he can build a similar miserly backline at United, then all of a sudden their defenders are going to be in very high demand. The other 2 United assets who managers will be sleeping on are Aidan Heaven, who joined from Arsenal last season and who signed for the club with the guarantee that he would become a first-team regular, and also Lenny Yoro, who arrived with this huge reputation as one of the best young defenders in the world. He had a pretty disappointing first season, but he has started to look the part in pre-season. So again, long-term United defenders might be worth having in the back of your mind if they start the season well, and if you want to get ahead of the curve and you're confident they will, maybe you could stash one of their assets on your bench for a few weeks just to see how they do, and that way you would be set up very nicely if they do impress. And then one more defender who I think really is worth keeping an eye on and considering as a late round pick or an early waiver is Ferdi Kadioglu of Brighton. He cost the club £25 million from Fenerbahce last year. He suffered loads of injury problems in his first season, but when he did play, he was used in midfield more than he was at fullback, which would obviously be a lovely bonus in terms of FPL, should you choose to sign him. He is a good dribbler, he is a good carrier of the ball, and if he plays as an inverted fullback at Brighton, his stats at Fenerbahce were comparable to the very best in the Premier League. He is a defensive dual monster. He's high up on the rankings for accurate forward passes and progressive passes per 90. And in his final season in Turkey, he was top for most progressive runs and dribble completion. So he again could be a huge attacking threat. Brighton have obviously signed another fullback in De Kuyper, who a lot of draft managers have been looking at. But I actually think Kadioglu is going a bit under the radar as a result. And I do think he has the potential to have an elite season if he hits the ground running. Let's move on to midfield, where there are another host of options that not many managers will be thinking about right now, but who could turn out to be excellent pickups late on draft night. First up is Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, who looks like he's joining Everton from Chelsea after just 1 season at Stamford Bridge. He arrived in London off the back of an incredible season with Leicester in the Championship, where he got 12 goals and 14 assists in 44 games. So 26 attacking returns from midfield, which is an outrageous effort. The season before, when Leicester were relegated from the Premier League, he managed just 2 goals and 2 assists in 31 games. But you have to factor in the fact that there was all sorts of chaos going on at that club that season. And then at Chelsea last year, he was really limited to first-team opportunities, particularly in the Premier League. He got just 13 appearances. He didn't score, he didn't assist, but in the Conference League, he played 13 games and he got 4 goals and 3 assists. And at Everton, he will be an integral part of that side. He will be playing high up the pitch. He will offer a real attacking threat. And because of the limited impact he made at Chelsea, I think he is going to be overlooked by a lot of managers. But he is a class player. He has good attacking threat. And he is certainly someone I will be looking at on draft night and will be very happy to take in a late round. Wilson Odobert is another player who could turn out to be an excellent pickup this season. He joined Spurs from Burnley last year and had limited chances. He was injured for a bit of last season as well. He managed 843 minutes in the league. He got 1 goal. But with Heung-min Son now leaving Spurs, there is a chance for him to nail down that left-hand side spot. He looked good in a recent friendly against Arsenal. He may well face competition on that left-hand side from Matthias Tell, and Thomas Frank has also bigged up Brennan Johnson as an option there as well, which we'll come on to. But Odobert is the sort of player who commits defenders. He is fast, he is full of tricks, and if he can improve his end product, I think he will get a lot of minutes. Now, when Frank was asked who was going to replace Heung-min Son in that Spurs 11, he said Brennan Johnson is a player who can play on the left, and I think that Wilson Odobert did well against Arsenal, and also Matthias Tell is a flexible player. So who gets the nod is very much up in the air based on that quote, but if you draft Odobert for that opener and he does play, you could really reap the rewards. It is a good fixture, Burnley at home, and I actually think there is a good chance he will start in that game, because Burnley are going to be defensive, they're going to be playing deep, they are going to be doing everything they can to stop Spurs, and Odobert's ability to beat his man could be a cheat code against that sort of low block.
Finding a new job is stressful. But with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Harvey Elliott is another player worth thinking about if you can stash him on your bench for a week or two until the transfer window closes, because you would have to assume he will leave Liverpool this summer. He had a brilliant under-21s tournament with England, scoring 4 goals, and he's done pretty well whenever he's played for Liverpool. 15 attacking returns in the last 2 seasons from very limited minutes, really. He's been linked with a move to Spurs, where he would surely play week in, week out. They failed in a move for Morgan Gibbs-White earlier in the summer, and now James Maddison looks like he's picked up a long-term injury as well. So their need for a creative midfielder is pretty urgent, and Elliott may well fit the bill. His ceiling is massive. He's a very, very good player. He can score, he can assist, and if he does make a move and you manage to get him in ahead of your rivals in a late round or in one of those early waivers, you are basically, potentially at least, getting a ready-made Maddison replacement. And Maddison would not have gone in a late round, and he would not have been available in an early waiver. So he could be a really smart pickup. Fabio Carvalho is another midfielder who is likely to be overlooked on draft night, but who could turn out to be an integral player in Brentford's battle against relegation. He's been a regular in pre-season, playing in a free role on the right, a bit like a budget Mo Salah. He didn't get much of a look in last season under Thomas Frank, having joined Brentford from Liverpool, but Keith Andrews certainly seems to like him based on those pre-season friendlies. And if he can transfer the form he showed in the Championship into the Premier League, he could be a great little pickup. In 20 games with Hull, he got 9 goals and 2 assists. And with Brian Mbeumo no longer at the G-Tech, he should be a regular first-team player this season. And both he and Thiago are really going to have to take up the slack of scoring goals and creating chances if Yoane Wissa joins Mbeumo in leaving the club. So again, another late round option with a high upside if you want to go there. Wolves have brought in John Arias, who is an attacking midfielder from Fluminense. He was excellent at the Club World Cup. He created more chances than any other player in that tournament, and he scored in his first appearance for Wolves in pre-season against Girona. He's got 18 goals and 20 assists in his last 86 games, so pretty much an attacking return every 2 matches. I think there is a good chance he's going to be across a lot of Wolves' set pieces as well. And even though their start isn't amazing, they've got Manchester City, Bournemouth and Newcastle in 3 of their first 4. In their next 5, they play all the newly promoted teams: Sunderland, Burnley and Leeds. So I would expect him to be amongst the points there. And because he's at Wolves, I don't think he's going to be a hugely popular pick on draft night. And a couple of other players in midfield who are watch and wait, just in case they get a move. First up, Facundo Buonanotte of Brighton, who spent last year on loan at Leicester City, but actually did pretty well in limited minutes. 5 goals and 2 assists in just over 1,500 minutes. So basically 7 attacking returns in the equivalent of 16 games. I don't think he's going to have a future at Brighton, but if he can get a loan move to a mid to lower league table side, I think he could easily go on to have a decent season. Someone like a Palace, if they lose Eze, or West Ham or Fulham, would all be improved by a player like Buonanotte. And I think if he does make that move before transfer deadline day, he certainly has the talent to become a really solid asset in draft. James McAtee is in a similar situation. He played quite a lot of minutes towards the end of last season with Manchester City. He's been linked with a move to Nottingham Forest. If he stays at City, he is obviously not an option, but if he does switch clubs, he will be doing so to become a first-team starter. In the equivalent of just under 4 games in the Premier League last season, he got 3 goals, and he's got a pretty good record at every level he's played at. 12 attacking returns in 37 Championship games, 42 attacking returns in 46 Premier League 2 games, and 7 attacking returns in 13 FA Cup appearances. He seems like the sort of player that just needs first team football now. And if he gets it at Forest or similar, I think he is someone to keep in mind on those waivers towards the end of that transfer window. Could he be another Cole Palmer? No, he couldn't, but he could be quite good. On to the centre forwards then, and these are a bit tougher to come by as you would expect, and in all likelihood they will all be taken on draft night. But if you can prioritise some of these as your third choice forward picks, they may turn out to be the best of the bunch. First up is Stefanos Tsimas of Brighton. Tsimas, I'm guessing that's how you say his name. It's spelled T-Z-I-M-A-S. Tsimas. Anyway, he scored 12 goals and got 3 assists in the second tier of the Bundesliga last season. He was playing for FC Nuremberg. He has just been given the number 9 shirt at Brighton, which suggests he is going to be a first-team player this year. He is just 19, and he's not really featured in pre-season yet as he acclimatises to his new surroundings and his new club. But Brighton are short of forward options. Danny Welbeck is getting on. He is an old man now. He is surely not going to be able to play week in, week out this season. He's also been cursed by injury problems throughout his career, and last season was one of those very rare seasons where he didn't miss many matches, but I'm not sure that will happen again this season. And Brighton are never afraid to give chances to young players, so Tsimas is one of those picks who could turn out to get a good number of minutes over the course of the season. Richarlison will of course be picked up on draft night, but right now he's looking like he's going to be starting in Tottenham's opening game of the season against Burnley, with Big Dom Solanke currently injured. So when you get to those forward dregs and you still need striker number 3, he is a very good priority pick as he is going to get minutes early on. Callum Wilson has signed for West Ham United, and the Hammers now have two of the most injury-prone centre-forwards in the world of football, with Wilson and Nicholas Füllkrug. Given their injury proneness, Wilson missed 29 games last season and Füllkrug missed 28. The chances are they will share minutes when they are fit. I cannot see either playing the full 90 each week, and when you're looking for that third striker pick on draft night, the likelihood is you're going to have to settle for someone who isn't a regular starter, but is more of an impact sub. So Wilson certainly fits the bill there. Muniz of Fulham is being linked with a move to Leeds. So if he makes that move, you've drafted yourself a starting centre-forward, although the risk is he is also being linked with moves abroad. And then he will go before the late rounds, but he will not go anywhere near as early as he did last season. Nicholas Jackson, who doesn't appear to have a future at Chelsea. He's been offered to Manchester United and Newcastle, according to reports, both of whom seem more keen on Benjamin Sesko, but of course only one of them can get Benjamin Sesko, and Jackson could easily become the fullback option for whoever doesn't get him. Again, there is the risk that he could move abroad. He's been linked with AC Milan among a host of other clubs, but as a third striker option, if you could get him in and he does stay in the Premier League, you have got yourself a first team starter who, for all his critics, did end up with 10 goals and 6 assists last season. So those are a few players who should remain available until those mid to late rounds on draft night. A lot of them will also be sticking around on the waivers in those opening weeks of the season. And while some will only gain value if they do make a summer move to a new club, at least now you've got those names in your head and you can make the move early if it looks like a transfer is going to go through. Someone like Harvey Elliott, for instance, I am very high on. He could prove to be absolute fantasy gold if he goes to a club like Spurs, and I don't think many people are going to be targeting him on draft night. Let us know if we've missed any other under the radar options that could help make your season a winning one. You can get in touch with us on X and on Instagram at FPL Draft Zone. We're also on Blue Sky at fpldraftzone.bsky.social. Please don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or some generous words of encouragement on Spotify or whatever podcast platform you listen to us on. It helps make other people aware of the show via that magical algorithm, and we would love more people to be aware of the show. But that is it for today. We will be back very soon indeed, and until next time, it is bye for now.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.